The Rubik's Cube is one of the top-selling toys of all time. Few people can actually solve the cube, but for a portion of those who can, their goal is to solve it as fast as possible. For a record to be counted, it must be done at a competition. At these competitions, cubers race to see who can get the fastest times. The world record single is the world record for the fastest single solved in a competition. Since 1982, when the first competition was held, only 18 people have ever held the single world record, but the record has been broken over 30 times. Years of practice and dedication, along with good solutions and/or lucky scrambles, go into getting a world record. This is the history of the Rubik's Cube world record. In 1982, just 2 years after the cube's highly successful release, competitions were held in many countries to find the fastest cuber. On June 5th of that year, the fastest speed cuber from each competition met up in Hungary to decide the winner of the first ever Rubik's Cube World Championship. Many records were set that day, but the most important was the first Rubik's Cube world record. Min Tai, an American competitor, was the person. 22.95 seconds was his time. This marked the beginning of Rubik's Cube world record history. Sadly, the cube lost popularity, leaving that as the last competition for more than 20 years. This all changed when the World Cube Association, or more commonly known as the WCA, was founded. A competition was scheduled in Canada. After the cube's decline in popularity, people hadn't practiced a lot, so the record didn't drop by a lot. However, the record was broken twice at the competition. First by Dan Knights of the USA with a time of 16.71 seconds, followed by Jess Bond of Denmark with a time of 16.53 seconds. More and more competitions started happening, and another record happened by Shotaro Makizumi of Japan. But instead of the record being broken by him once, he went on to break the record 4 times over 2 competitions, dropping the record down to 12.11 seconds. Slowly the record dropped over the next couple of years, down to 11.75, 11.13, 10.48, and then 10.36, inching ever so close to the first sub-10 solve. Then, in February of 2007, cubing history was made. Thibaut Jacquinot got the first sub-10 single. Unfortunately, no video of the record exists, but his time of 9.86 seconds was a huge milestone for the cubing community. After the sub-10 happened, sub-10 times started rolling in. A 9.77 by Erik Akerstijk, a 9.55 by Ron van Bruchem, a 9.18 by Edouard Chambon, and even an 8.72 from Yu Nakajima of Japan. Then, in 2008, something crazy happened. Erik Akerstijk not only received a world record, but he beat the previous record by over 1.5 seconds. The new time was 7.08 seconds. This record is currently the longest standing record to date, having lasted 854 days. After that record, a new era began. An era where a kid from Melbourne, Australia would dominate cubing. His name? Felix Zemdegs. He broke the record first with a 7.03 in 2010, and then broke his own record 6 times through 2011, with the fastest being 5.66 seconds. But he isn't just known for his records in 3x3 singles, as over the past 10 years, he has received over 100 world records through various events. In 2013, Mats Valk from the Netherlands dropped the record down to 5.55, and the record stayed for another 2 years, until 2015, where one day saw 3 world records in the US. The first by Colin Burns with a time of 5.25 at Doylestown Spring, then later that day, a 5:09 by Keaton Ellis at River Hill Fall. The third record also took place in River Hill. However, this one was special. The first ever sub-5 single by Lucas Eder with a stunning 4.9 single. The speed-solving forums buzzed with excitement. And that would stay the record, until Mats Volk would retake the record with a 4:74 solve. And the following record would be the most hilariously epic world record to date. The fast kid from Melbourne, Felix Semdegs, broke the record by 100th of a second with a 4.73. That isn't the best part. The previous record holder, Mats Volk, was sitting directly next to him. The record would go down to a 4:69 by Patrick Ponce, followed by a 4:59 by Seongbom Cho in 2017. In January of 2018, Felix tied the record with another 4:59 single. He would then receive his own world record 5 months later in May with an incredible 4.22 second solve. That record was amazing, like all others before it, but they all pale in comparison to the current world record. In November of 2018, a Chinese cuber named Yu Shangdu would take the record with not only the first and only official sub-4 second solve, but also with a time 3/4 of a second faster than the previous record. That might not seem like a lot. When you get faster and faster with the times, every millisecond counts. This record was highly disputed, as Yu Shangdu hadn't had any major accomplishments or records. The video of the solve was from a security camera, and the quality wasn't great as he didn't record his solves. He also averaged 7 seconds, which is pretty slow if you're trying to get a 3-second solve. In the end, the record was counted, and it has stood until now, meaning that if it doesn't get broken in the next couple of months, it will become the longest standing world record. His time was 3.47 seconds. Huge shout out to Summoning Salt, as his videos were the inspiration for this one. He uploads this type of video about video game speedruns, and I probably didn't do his videos justice with this one, so definitely go check him out. Links in the description and pinned comment.